Yugawara Training Center. Masters Matsui is teaching fighting techniques course during the Kyokushinkai Karate Summer Training Session. The Kyokushinkai Karate Central Dojo Summer Training Course is held each year at Yugawara. It's now listed among the enthusiasts training habits, all of whom wait for it with great anxiety. Dozens of black belts from all over Japan and elsewhere gather here to devote themselves to intensive practice at the heart of a luxuriant forested area with marine fragrances and birds singing in the background. Usually assisted by last year's Japan official champion, Master Sosai Masutatsu Oyama conducts himself the training sessions. Sharing as far as the master's meals, all members come here to absorb the technique and spirit of Kyokushinkai Karate. He is good, isn't he? All right, go ahead. Try and see this movement. You can go ahead, hell for leather, and no favors. Having taken over the lead of Kyokushinkai Karate after Master Oyama's sudden death on the 26th of April 1994, Shokei Matsui carries on the tradition by holding the summer training session at Yugawara, assisted this time by Hajime Kadzumi, winner of the 25th Kyokushinkai Karate National Contest.
Hajime Kadzumi, vainqueur de la 25e compétition nationale de karaté Kyokushinkai.
And all his followers were deeply affected by their master's sudden death, and the air trembles with their kiai, hatred, in unison.
Et l'air vibre de leur kiai puissant, poussé à l'unisson.
With the same vigor, the followers apply themselves to carrying out the karate striking movements, as well as, with all their power, the wall of their lightning kicks inherent to this martial art, with perhaps the late old master's gaze hovering over them, who seems to be kindly winking at them from the vault of heaven where he now abides. Under the careful watch of Master Matsui, who guides him under every effort and makes him benefit from his experience, young Kadzumi trains uninterruptedly in the hope of winning the grand international title during the championships that will bring him together with fearsome fighters from all countries. You have to stand ready, never stiff, always on your guard, ready to react to the slightest movement from your imaginary opponents. Kadzumi possesses his own kicking technique that will enable him to achieve brilliant results in kumite. Whatever the power of his opponents, his remarkably supple dodges work wonders, allowing him to fight back with a burst of attacks that brings down the best strength of his opponents. Kadzumi is currently putting the finishing touches to his technical preparation. Don't look as though you're always eluding the same attacks. Don't forget that the opponent is unpredictable. You must be able to dodge anything that comes. So be supple and ready in your guard. Adapt yourself to the circumstances, so long distances, short distances, to opponents that are tall, healthy, small or powerful. Train yourself to move around easily, even if everything you're working on now doesn't necessarily find its place in a competition. In this shadow fight, you train to predict your opponent's attacks through your own body. You can go along according to what you feel, but don't forget to imagine unforeseen situations at times so as to face up with any possibility. Be very careful. Each time you take the initiative of attacking, there's inevitably an opening that the opponent can use as an opportunity to score and win. You have to be aware of that in order to minimize risks. Well, continue training like mad and I think you'll be all right. Master Matsui, faithful to the teaching of Master Oyama, from whom he has received the technical legacy, is today the worthiest representative of this school, and his infallible technique, which is most convincing, is a perfect example of purity and strength. From simple postures to technical forms of kata, Master Matsui teaches all the aspects of an art of which he has himself experienced the fearsome effectiveness in a great number of fights. From all these movements emanate the power and spirit of this kyokushinkai form of karate, which he symbolizes wonderfully. You move forward slightly, and just when you make contact with your hands, the leg shoots out at one go. Same thing now with a double attack. Dodge, Step out of the line, counter-attack with the leg. Be very careful when you move forward, as you can put yourself in danger. So watch out carefully and then move in. A blow like that isn't acceptable in a fight. Everything must take place instantly. The strikes and withdrawal movements, otherwise you're outdone instantly. So, most of all, no powerless strikes. If you're facing a well-trained opponent, you have to react in a lightning manner. Alright? When carrying out a sequence and when withdrawing your hands, the leg takes over in direct kicks. Everything must be carried out without the slightest interruption. Here, you must dodge by stepping back, by withdrawing your leg, and then renew the attack each in turn. Come on! Roundhouse kick, each in turn, in sequences. Protect yourself properly in order to absorb the blow. By blocking, you're able to divert the blow and control the situation.
At first, just block. Only block. Okay?
You practice starting from the guard stance. By blocking, then you open the movement before fighting back. You must react instantly, like in a dialogue, where questions and answers follow on from each other. That is essential. Of course, between us, you strike smoothly. Nevertheless, it has to look real. He is doing well. As soon as he blocks an attack, he counterattacks immediately and is always steady in his actions. Be very careful when you make contact not to get kicked in the head. Some Westerners have a stunning reach. Their legs are so long that you barely notice the foot suddenly hitting you in the nose. Be careful with that. You also have people who have a light, supple guard, and when you attack, they withdraw slightly, and in a flash, you find yourself in a migratory position without having seen anything come. Evaluate the situation carefully, and above all, dodge the blows. You must measure the distance with accuracy. Master Matsui conducts himself the training course at the dojo in Osakusa, where black belts come from all over Japan to train under his rule. That day, it was Kadzumi who walked through the doors of the dojo in order to deepen the knowledge he received during the summer training session, and especially the famous techniques one must master in order to face up with the gigantic Westerners with stunning reach. Right, your shifting technique must be strengthened with a view to the World Championships. And you must also be supple. Move around a little because sometimes you come across people who are more than 6 feet tall. They swoop down on you in 2 or 3 steps at a great speed so as to outdo you by way of direct kicks. Imagine that the opponent runs up to you. With your stance, you can't instantly face up with the situation, and therefore you're beaten. You have to be able to react spontaneously as soon as you make contact, and also to stand ready to dodge. You have to train to foresee the opponent's action through his breathing rhythm. When he breathes in, there will be a brief moment of stiffness, and there you must immediately score. You must watch out for the slightest weakness, the slightest opening.
ここにこうストレートにストーンストーンストーンと来る動きは気をつけないと。どうしてもリーチが長いとこういう形でさ、ね、こういう形でリーチが長いと遠間から相手は十分なリーチなの、相手は自分のリーチで入ってくるとするわけ、ね、そこに遅れちゃいけないと思ってふっとこう力んで前に出た瞬間なんかでさ、ドーンともらったりガーンともらったりまたトーンともらったりさ、ね、そういうところをこう注意しなきゃいけないというのは、相手はさ、外国選手っていうのはね、
Tu dois être disponible.
You must stand ready,
T'adapter à tout.
be able to
Ça,
adapt
c'est
to
important.
anything.
En
That's
général, les
important.
combattants étrangers
Generally
préfèrent une
speaking,
action directe,
foreign fighters
linéaire,
prefer a
massive,
direct,
un jeu
linear
souple
and
et
massive
léger.
attack
Contre
to a
ça,
light
il
and
faut
supple game.
nécessairement jouer la souplesse et surtout
Against
ne
that,
pas
you must
se fier.
absolutely remain supple and above all, not remain stiff.
Les pratiquants japonais,
In
ils
Mawashigeri,
préfèrent
to
le
the
coup de
Japanese
pied
fighters'
massif qui
lash
terrasse
blows,
l'adversaire.
they prefer weighty kicks that bring down the opponent at once. Jukumute is a form of training during which you adapt to the situation, so as to fight back one blow straight after the other, accurately and spontaneously.
ガツンとくるとまず一つの突破口を開くというかね、ポーンとこう打ってくるのに対してパーンとこうしていくとか、スッとこう下がってから入るとか、またそのままドーンとこう入る。
Sur l'attaque,
When the opponent attacks, you can either dodge sideways or back away, or quickly anticipate. And there, as soon as he carries out his attack, you move in.
またカズミじゃなく相対的に日本の選手が得意とするパターン。
Well,
distance rapprochée,
at
ça
close
devrait aller.
range, it would be
Les
alright.
Japonais se débrouillent
The
bien en
Japanese
général.
manage quite well generally. So the question is, when to break the distance in order to bring the opponent into close contact, where you're most likely to win.
この辺入ってさ、ぐっと膝が上がってくる。ね、これはもう注意してね。ふってやって、ふっと入ろうとした瞬間、この膝がさ、ぐわーんとこう上がってくる。
Mais fais attention.
And be careful, as in a hand-to-hand fight, fighters who's two heads taller than you will swing his knee across your head without the slightest effort. Be very careful about that.
その後フランシスコ・フリアあたりに190近くからさ、ふっと回ってってね。まあフランシスコ・フリアなんか回し蹴りも何も全部使えるからね。そのあたりはね、要注意だな、やっぱりそれは。
Jukumite, a very supple style of free sparring, is different from competition, as here you don't try to bring down the opponent. However, in kyokushinkai karate, it can quickly take the form of a real fight in which both will have to show inventiveness and strength.
前をこう読んで、例えばこのストレートの追い突きのね、追い突きの前で打ってね、ここだったら効かないわけだ。当たっても、余震波当たってもね。で、前に出てれば、こうきちっとこう準備して前に出るわけだ。ふわっとここの瞬間になって効くところまで。
Pressentir la distance.
Predicting the distance is essential, as everything takes place according to feelings.
Tu es touché.
If you lose this notion, you're hit, and it's too late.
Il faut agir.
You have to act before being hit. Understood?
ここで来たら一番効くわけだな。ここでストーンと伸びきる瞬間にこう来たらね。その時にゴンと当たったらまずいわけ。もう一つはついてきたら、スッとこう前を外せばこれもこれでいいわけ。
Si tu prends le coup,
If you take the blow, it's not good for you. You have to absorb it by dodging backwards a little.
Il y a plusieurs possibilités.
You have several possibilities. Either anticipate and carry out the attack, or receive the attack from behind, or even dodge sideways when fighting back.
こう来る時に対角線でショットこう入っていく。こうやって入っていく。直線的な動きに関してね。だから例えば前蹴りでも同じことや。前蹴りこう
On a kick, you can move in, but as soon as the blow is carried out,
Tu peux rentrer. Mais
otherwise, it's better not to remain on the
il vaut
line.
mieux éviter de rester sur la ligne.
こういうんだったら前蹴りは向こうの前蹴りできないんだよ。ところが
Si tu laisses
If
passer
you let
l'instant
the right
propice,
moment
tu
pass,
prends le coup
you
comme
get the
ça.
blow this
Tu es
way,
dominé.
and you're outdone.
Ce sont là des exemples.
Of course, these are examples, but it gives you an idea.
またこう包んでも前蹴り来た。前蹴り来た。
Si tu pressens
If you
l'instant de
foresee the
l'attaque
moment
adversaire,
your
tu
opponent
reprends
carries out the
l'initiative
attack,
comme ça, et là,
you take
c'est
over
très
the
bien le
initiative like this, and there, you get the upper end.
このタイミングのね、この本当0コンマ何秒の差が。
Tout cela est
All
vraiment une
this
question d'un
is really a
centime de
question
seconde.
of a fraction of a
Ça change du tout au
second. It changes everything. You have to foresee the action. Master Matsui instantly reacts to Kadzumi's slightest initiative. He leads without the slightest efforts against this karateka, who is considered as one of the best of the young generation. As the action goes on, Matsui continues to advance, increasing the pressure on his young opponent by force of his ki as well as with his stunningly effective technique. Matsui belongs to the line of the greatest karateka. Any opponent has a longer reach than yours, for example, a Westerner. He'll be stronger on a long distance, quick and powerful, so you must dodge unexpectedly, come closer, and fight hand to hand. Moreover, you must react to the opponent's slightest move and not remain stiff. Training to react instantly is crucial. If you bear that in mind, you can break the distance by backing away slowly. Master Matsui's pieces of advice are supported by solid experience in fighting. All his movements are ruled not only by feelings experienced when the action takes place, but yet to fundamental principles of karate and to the logic of an exceptional technique. Young Kadzumi is particularly receptive to Master Matsui's enlightened advice. You must not let the opponent's actions overwhelm you. You must neither waste time nor let chances slip away. Don't you agree? Right, otherwise, on a technical basis, you're okay. You adapt yourself to the opponent's initiatives, and at the slightest opening, you move in. The opponent, when he moves, inevitably reveals his intentions at some stage. It's at this moment that you have to detect a weakness and move in. Francisco Filho, this young Brazilian here, is perhaps on the verge of winning the world title. It's in any case Master Matsui's feeling. After the 24th championships, the Japanese Yoshihiro Tamura claimed he had never encountered such a powerful fighter before. During his visit to Japan, Master Matsui took advantage of the occasion and tried out a few Juku Mite attacks with him. This is the central dojo. With a height of 1 meter 86 and a weight of 95 kilos, Filio has, during the past few years, established himself as a major figure on the scene of karate. During the 5th World Championships, he even managed to beat the great Andy Hug, to the point of sending him to hospital, and a knockout that has now become legendary. This man's strength left no spectator indifferent. Master Matsui, with his supple and fluid moves, has but just managed to completely disorientate the young Brazilian. Shy and tentative at the beginning, later joins in. Master Matsui rapidly gains a serious advantage and soon leads against the young man, cleverly controlling the distance during the exchange. However, Filio's so personal and atypical kick sometimes reaches Master Matsui's face. Japanese fighters must behave themselves. Andy, Thompson, Mitchell, Ademir, these are the 4 best foreign karateka of the time, who took part in the 5th championships at that period. In my view, Ademir da Costa was the best. Filio has worked alongside Ademir, trained at his place. In addition, he has a reach that is even longer, giving him advantage over all the others. You expect a Maegiri movement, and all of a sudden it turns around in a Mawashi movement at the last moment. You get hit for sure. Or furthermore, he slips in order to gain distance and swoops down on you in a stunning roundhouse kick without you seeing anything come. He hits you on the side with a side kick without you seeing anything come. He attacks, you dodge and move in, but he already outdoes you hand to hand. Now has come the moment of truth. The 6th championships will take place in autumn 1995. Master Oyama, during his lifetime, insisted that the karate title remain in the hands of Japanese fighters, that is to say, on the land that saw the birth of Karate-do. Who could tell whether the Japanese karateka could save the honor and in that be faithful to the memory of their old master? These 6th World Championships will also be a test for Matsui, who, through the training dispensed to the young prodigies of Japanese karate, will have to prove himself as the leader of the Kyokushinkai school.